was talking to my man Zachary Ramey from Off the Glass podcast, and we were having this conversation about spirituality, and he kept saying, talking about like having the mindset, the mentality, how pivotal and critical the mind is to all things. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I was going to throw this at you, but I kept bringing up the spiritual part, right? And the spiritual part is important because to me it is the foundation of everything, right? When we talk about conversion, when we talk about what's the strongest element that we all possess, I believe it is the spirit. Now so we were talking about like situations and circumstances, because in this time of the pandemic, some people were elevated, some people were devastated. You dig what I'm saying? Some people were elevated, some people were devastated, right? And everything in between. And so the key for us believers is, as we talk about spirituality, can you feel God? Can you spiritually connect with God? Can you feel God in the midst of devastation and elevation? You know what I'm saying? And so the reason why I was making a point to talk about the difference between spirituality and mentality is this. Mentally, it's an easier concept. Mental toughness, you think you know what that is. Spirituality is something that seems a little bit vague. But here, watch this. If I said, I think God is in this space versus I feel God in this space, which one sounds stronger? Which one sounds the more convincing? I think God's in this place. I feel God in this space. You see what I'm saying? So simply the words alone give you some evidence that when you spiritually connect to something, it's stronger than thinking, than having a mental connection, right? So I want to feel God in my elevation and my devastation. I want to feel God, because if I can feel God's presence, then I got a good chance of being able to navigate those turbulent times gracefully, right? In a way that God will be proud of me. But if I'm only thinking, if I only think God's in a space, that leads to uncertainty. You dig what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, work on developing those spiritual connections with people. Work on developing those spiritual connections with your thoughts. Work on developing those spiritual connections with your ambition, those spiritual connections with God. Be able to feel God. Be able to feel God, right? In everything. Because that's when that's when God rewards us for our diligence, for our faith, for our commitment. That's when God rewards us for working so hard to maintain a spiritual connection with Him in the midst of all of our circumstances. Hope that makes sense. My name is Marv Fox Jr. I help highly ambitious and courageous people discover their purpose with 2 simple questions. Marv Fox Jr.